Yes.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we pause at this time, Lord, to lift you up and offer our thanks to you. And Lord, we just thank you for all the blessings you bestow on us. And we ask, Lord, that you continue to bless this state, this Department of Transportation, and all the men and women who make it function. And Lord, bless us as we proceed throughout this meeting. We ask this in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
Okay, I'll do the roll call. District 1, Ms. Purcell. Here. 2, Ms. Williams. Here. 3, Mr. McIntyre.
Here.
4, Mr. Brown.
Here.
5, Ms. Key. 6, Mr. Bowen.
Here.
7, Mr. Thompson. 8, Mr. Golden. 9, Ms. Dunn.
Here.
10, Mr. Boswell.
Here.
11, Mr. Lewis.
Here.
12, Mr. Snipes.
Here.
13, Ms. Lemon. And 14, Mr. Gravely.
Here.
Okay. Thank you. I get approval of minutes for April board meeting. What's the motion?
So moved.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Minutes are approved. Thank you. Report on projects for June 24th, Ledden, Kenneth Frank.
Good afternoon, Chairman Brown, Commissioner, members of the board. I'm here to present this for Mr. Albert Shelby today, and we're going to present the advertisement for the June letting. Before we present the June letting, here are the fiscal year 2024 results. We have let a total of 210 projects in fiscal year 2024. The chart above shows the number of projects by project type. The value of these 210 projects is approximately $1.93 billion through the April 24 bid award. Of these 210 projects, 195 are GDOT let with a value of approximately $1.8 billion, and 15 are local lets with an approximate value of $130 million. This chart shows the dollar amount distribution by improvement type, with maintenance, roadway, and bridge projects making up the bulk of the improvement types. Here are the results of the April 2024 letting. Of the 13 GDOT contracts presented to the board, 10 were awarded, 2 were rejected, and 1 was withdrawn. Now going to discuss the projects in the June 2024 letting. We have a total of 23 projects, including 1 TIA project, consisting of 17 GDOT and 6 local lets. The next 2 slides list the 22 non-TIA projects arranged by congressional district. As you can see with this slide, we are listing a variety of projects throughout the state to address bridge, capacity enhancement, maintenance, and safety issues. I'm going to highlight some of the projects that are included in the June letting. This first highlighted project is a 1.7 mile improvement along County Road 208, Willingham Dairy Road, from State Route 38 to State Route 97. The proposed roadway improvements will bring Willingham Dairy Road up to state route standards by creating 12-foot lanes with 10-foot wide shoulders, installing turn lanes, flattening side slopes, requiring sizing, sizing open ditches, and realigning intersections to correct substandard skew angles. The segment of road will be brought up to state route system, and the existing downtown city of Bainbridge segment will be removed from the state route system. This project consists of a new 3-lane undivided urban roadway from Old Covington Highway to Flat Shoals Road for a total of 1.5 miles. The roadway will bridge over I-20 and will include connecting roadways to tie to Iris Drive. The project will also include intersection improvements on Flat Shoals Road, Old Covington Highway, and Iris Drive for additional turn lanes. This project replaces the structurally deficient bridge on Honey Creek Road over Snapping Shoals Creek in Rockdale County. The existing bridge was built in 1967, that's 57 years ago. Here's a ground view of the bridge to be replaced with that project. I-20 at State Route 138. This project proposes to replace the existing diamond configure interchange at State Route 138 and State Route 20 over I-20, located in Rockdale County, with a single point urban interchange. The new bridge will consist of 4 through lanes with exclusive dual left turn lanes in each direction. A single lane roundabout is also proposed at the intersection of Dogwood Drive and the western entrance to Conyers Plaza. The total project length is approximately 0.57 miles. And here's a zoomed in view of the single point interchange. State Route 37 at State Route 76. This proposed project is in the will construct a single lane roundabout with pedestrian facilities and lighting at the intersection of State Route 37 and 76. The approaches consist of 2 12-foot lanes, one in each direction, with 10-foot shoulders and open ditches. The project is located approximately 1 mile east of Adele. The project length is approximately 2,200 feet. Traffic will be maintained on-site during construction at this intersection improvement project. This project replaces the bridge on Bald Eagle Road over Carlin Creek in Franklin County. The bridge is currently closed due to failure of the structure at a flood event in April of 2019. It says the existing bridge was built in 1987, 37 years ago, but as you can see from this picture, there is no existing bridge. This is a ground view of where the existing bridge was, and you can see it's in desperate need of being replaced. State Route 81 at State Route 138. This proposed project is an intersection improvement project located in Walton County at the intersection of State Route 138 and State Route 81. That project will replace the existing signalized intersection with a multi-lane turbo roundabout that contains a bypass lane on the east leg approach. And with that, the next slide will show the design build project, which is in the June letting. This was previously presented to the board for advanced advertisement in February. And it is an ITS dynamic messaging signs project. And it's not in Appleton County. I think they've got 3 different locations, one in Bartow, one in Crisp County, and one in Harris County. With that, we'll transition to the TIA project for letting. This project is on Lower Lumpkin Road from State Route 39 to southwest of the Stewart County line. This project is in Congressional District 2 and in the River Valley region. This project will resurface, and it will consist of patching, leveling, and resurfacing, 2-foot widening on Lower Lumpkin Road, from 82 to Crossroads for approximately 5.4 miles, and then an additional 6 miles of just resurfacing for a total of 11.4 miles on this project, a TIA commitment of $2.27 million. We have a total of 23 projects proposed for the June letting, with 17 GDOT and 6 local let. This chart, is that right? Yep. Sorry. The estimate of these projects in the June 2024 letting is approximately $200 million. The chart shows the dollar amount distribution by project type. I now ask for your consideration of the proposed projects in the presentation for the June 2024 letting.
That's a motion.
So moved.
Second. A motion and second in discussion. All in favor, aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Commissioner, members of the board. Pleased to be here this afternoon to present to you the proposed revisions to the construction work program. As I do most months, I have 2 sets of revisions to present to you. The first one's for your review, a total of 12 projects, all additions to the program, and these would be the additions of truck parking spaces along I-75 and rest areas, way stations along I-75. See those there. And the second set of projects, it's only one project. This came to you last month for review, and it comes to you today for proposed action, and it is one project. It is a request for a deletion from the program. I'd be happy to take any questions, Mr. Chairman, or otherwise ask for your favorable consideration for these revisions.
Any questions?
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second in discussion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, and the motion is carried.
Thank you.
Very welcome. Commissioner?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen of the board. One, I want to thank Kenneth for pinch hitting for Albert today. Thank you for doing that, Kenneth. That was a very robust letting that you just approved. So as we come to the end of June, gets us to the end of the fiscal year. So it's going to be a great banner year in delivering a lot of projects.
Yeah.
Let me start with our state fund collections, as always, for the month of April. 216.99. We might as well call that $217 million in revenue. Excise accounted for $195.4 million and $21.5 million in transportation fees. Brings fiscal year to date to $1.56 billion, with excise constituting about $1.37 billion and $195 million in transportation fees. Always glad to give you an update on the great work of our employees, and certainly it takes employees to do all this work that we've talked about. Last month, we closed out with 3,910 full-time employees. We hired 47 employees last month and only separated 43. So that's on the plus side of the ledger, which is always the side you want to be on. So we'll take those victories. Also, to get the work done, it takes our partners with contractors and consultants and vendors to do the work that it takes for us to do. In April, we executed 234 professional services contracts for things like engineering, right-of-way, geotechnical, all the work it takes to get projects in front of you, totaling $69 million. Fiscal year to date, we've executed 1,841 professional services contracts valued at $692 million. So it takes a little bit of money to get these projects to where they get to construction. Now let me update you on some projects that opened to traffic since we were together last month. We'll start in Congressional District 8 down in Tift County in GDOT District 4, capital maintenance investment of 16.5 miles of milling and plant mix resurfacing and rehabbing the shoulders on State Route 125 from north of the New River tributary up to the Irwin County line. The contractor was East Coast Asphalt. Opened to traffic on April 15th. This 16.5 16.5 miles, I was trying to say million, but 16.5 million miles of paving would be, a lot of paving. 16.5 miles of milling and resurfacing, investment represents a $5.3 million investment. I'll get it right. So, this project was, like I say, opened on, April 15th. We're going to jump on up to Congressional District 12, or over to Congressional District 12, I should say, in Toombs County, GDOT District 5. This represents a local bridge investment of a construction of a bridge and the approaches on Hardin Chapel Road over Rocky Creek. The contractor was Southern Concrete Construction. Traffic opened at the very end of March. And so it represents a $2.3 million investment, and this project was opened ahead of schedule. Staying in Congressional District 12, but moving to Evans County, all again in GDOT District 5, another capital bridge investment project, this time on State Route 169 over the Canoochee River in Evans County. The contractor was Gregory Bridge Company, opened to traffic on April 25th. Represents a $6 million investment, and it will open the traffic ahead of schedule as well. Now, earlier this morning, you heard an update on our aviation program from Leanne Trainer, and she talked about the prioritization process they go through. A lot of that is state of good repair, and here's a great example of that at Waycross Ware County Airport, where this was a $1.2 million state and local funded project to mill and crack seal and resurface and then restripe the terminal apron you can see there to improve the pavement condition and the drainage at the airport. So Scruggs Construction Company was the contractor for this project, and glad to get that investment done there at Waycross Airport. So that concludes the projects that we opened, of significance that we opened up last month. And let me move into a few personnel updates for you. I'm proud to announce that Kelvin Mullins, the current District 1 District Engineer, is changing roles here at the department. He's moving to be to work in the P3 division to lead the post-let side of that P3 division. And as such, I have appointed Jason Docks to be who is the current Assistant District Engineer, to be the District Engineer for the Gainesville District. So certainly proud to have both of them serve in these roles. Please extend your thanks to Kelvin for his leadership in the District 1 District Engineer role as he takes on this new role. And please extend your usual cooperation and continued support for Jason as he takes over the reins there in District 1. I'm certainly proud of both of these gentlemen and what they contribute to the state. So congratulations to both of them. Also, a few other personnel updates, not within GDOT, but there's one here at Federal Highway I'd like to acknowledge. Dan Hinton sitting in for Sabrina David. Dan's the Assistant DA here in Georgia, in the Georgia Division, but he has been promoted to be the District Administrator for Tennessee Division. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Tennessee's trying to keep up with Georgia, and Dan will help them get there. So congratulations, Dan. We're going to miss you. And Dan has been a great partner at the federal level and has just been stellar to deal with. And I guess you've trained all these DAs, and now it's your turn. So congratulations, Dan. We will certainly miss you, but we wish you all the best. And just remember, Georgia before Tennessee. Everything will be fine. Okay. All right. Now, let's talk about other honors and recognition. And I had to fact-check this, and we fact-checked it, and it turned out to be true, that Jamie Boswell was recognized in a recent issue of the Terry Magazine. Now, the Terry Magazine is a publication of the University of Georgia's Terry College of Business. And each month, they put out this magazine, and they highlight achievements of alumni's Terry School of Business, at the Terry College, that is. And so Jamie was recognized as, obviously, for his role here on the State Transportation Board, and also for the great work he's done as owner of the Boswell Group. Congratulations, Jamie, for this prestigious recognition. Evidently, they don't do a lot of research, because they didn't determine that you're the biggest Georgia Tech fan in Athens, Georgia. So, I'll let you reconcile that with them. So, all right. Congratulations, Jamie. Now, in March, I reported the signing of two historic agreements, if you remember, between the Georgia DOT, the Department of Natural Resources, as well as U.S. Fish and Wildlife and the Federal Highway Administration, about the programmatic BAT agreement. And you've had a couple of presentations about the BAT agreement. Well, we're super excited because we actually won the 2024 Federal Highway Environmental Excellence Award, being recognized from the Federal Highway Administration for this programmatic agreement that we all worked on. This biennial award recognizes leaders across the country who make contributions to environmental stewardship and partnership above and beyond traditional transportation project outcomes. So really, the congratulations goes to our Assistant State Environmental Administrator, Doug Chamberlain, ecologist Ryan Pawlowski, as well as Eric Duff, in the entire Office of Environmental Services, for partnering with, again, DNR, U.S. Fish and Wildlife, Federal Highway, among others, to get this. And this is a very high recognition at the national level. So we're super proud and excited about that. It's a really federal highway thing today because last week, the Federal Highway Minister, Shaylin Bott, was in Savannah and attended an event at Georgia Ports Authority where they announced $15 million in grants that will support the electrification of vehicles used at the port in the vicinity of the port. And here's a quick news report from Savannah TV, WJCL, highlighting the grants and how those federal dollars will be used.
Savannah is becoming greener thanks to two grants from the Federal Highway Administration. $7.5 million is going to the ports to start a pilot program replacing fossil fuel with renewable diesel for more than 600 jockey trucks. Georgia Tech will be studying the small trucks used to haul trailers from one end of the port to the other over the next 4 years.
It's not just about adding capacity, but it's also about reducing the carbon footprint, because clearly what you see is all of that activity is great here, but there are neighborhoods that are adjacent to many of these ports, and we want to make sure that all of that great economic activity, that supply chain, is not then creating undue burdens on people who live nearby.
Volterra, a company that specializes in commercial EV charging infrastructure, is getting $7.8 million. They'll start construction on the massive recharging site that, once complete, could produce up to 23 megawatts, enough to power more than 17,000 homes at once.
Port of Savannah, which is one of the leading ports in the U.S., a globally recognized port, they are trying to keep up with what is going on globally, and I think it just reflects their desire to be at the top, and it's just exciting to be helping to make that happen.
In Savannah, I'm Andy Colt, WJCL 22 News.
All right, we're going to certainly appreciate, Ann, for you being present there at that event. It's always good to have the administrator in town, and a great partnership with the ports. Dan, send the money, and the port in Volterra will put it to good use, I'm sure. Next, let me update you with some events that our own Kimberly King, our EEO director, attended, and she actually provided opening remarks at the Southern Transportation Civil Rights Executive Council Training Symposium that was held here in Atlanta. That took place just a few weeks ago. Pardon me. The Southern Transportation Civil Rights Executive Council is dedicated to the advancement of transportation civil rights program initiatives within the member states, which include Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Mississippi, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Tennessee. In addition to the open remarks, Kimberly participated in the panel discussion on civil rights and expectations for the future. And I'd like to show a quick video, too, highlighting the event and GDOT's role in it.
Southern Transportation Civil Rights Executive Council is about a 34-year-old organization that is made up of practitioners in the civil rights space from the southeastern region. I think initially the group was really, sort of a think tank for practitioners in the civil rights space. But it has grown beyond just, sort of a safe place for us as individuals to a larger training organization to really help other civil rights practitioners around the country, frankly, to navigate the civil rights space that we are charged with administering at our different state DOTs.
GDOT's partnership with the people that are in the symposium is to learn their way, give different examples of what has worked for them and their systems. It's always good to mingle with like-minded people, but with different practices that has worked for them, and I think that's a good way to gather and form good practices for yourself.
When I first bought this position, I knew about the DBE programs, and I also knew about the OJTs, which are the Disadvantaged Enterprise and the on-the-job training. I knew a little bit about it, but once I started this position, I really got a really good grasp on it and more in depth, and I realized how much the DBEs are effective and how we, GDOT, are able to give them the tools they need to enhance their business and also give them the opportunities to grow and be more of instead of being a subcontractor, be more of a prime contractor.
I think it's just a wonderful opportunity to really to kind of recharge, to understand more about the industry, the trends, and also opportunity to see what's really effective, what's working, and to really begin to think forward in terms of things we can do to improve our processes.
And so having the opportunity to talk to other folk who know and understand this work and know and understand what you're going through on a day-to-day basis is so helpful. It's so comforting. And it engenders a sort of confidence in you that you're doing the right thing.
Certainly want to thank Kimberly for all her involvement. She was an integral part of planning the symposium and obviously an active part. Also, a great job by our communications team for documenting the event and highlighting it there. As you know, the department is committed to equal employment opportunity for all and obviously supports business opportunities to support economic development across this great state. And we do that in many ways by promoting our DBE program, our state supported services program, and many other ways. And I really appreciate Kimberly and her team in EEO for all that they do. Next, let me transition into an event that held last month with the Macon-Bibb County Industrial Authority, where they had their spring industry partner luncheon. And they invited Tim Golden and Tyler Peak from District 3 to attend and discuss infrastructure in the area. And if you know Macon, Georgia, there's a little bit of infrastructure in the area. The 1675 project that continues to go on, and I might remind you that there's still one more phase that yet to be constructed of that project. And yes, we do know it's been about a decade of work, and we knew that going into it, so bear with us. But Tim was brave enough to go meet with Macon-Bibb and talk about infrastructure, and I think he brought Tyler with him for good reason. And they had a great event where it really brought leaders together from government, industry, and the community to learn more about all the things going on with transportation infrastructure. Tim actually was the keynote speaker and spoke about our role and what's going on with especially 1675 and everything else that goes up and down I-75 as it relates to commerce. So really a special thanks to Tyler and Tim for a great presentation, and again, help communicating the importance of transportation investment, not only in that specific location, but for the region and the state as a whole. Now, my next two items, I had briefed you on in the last two board meetings, and they were not good days. It was rainy outside, and we had a lot of damage to flooding, and so today, it's a beautiful day, and I've got good news. And the first bit of good news is on State Route 278 down in Bleckley County, where an existing pipe under 278 couldn't handle the runoff from a stream storm event. District 2 immediately went to work and to basically clear the site and basically got under a contract with Reeves Construction. We appreciate them being a partner to be able to respond when quickly this project grew from a little bit of a washout to needing to be a full replacement. And basically in 3 weeks' time, 278 was back open. It opened on May 3rd. And again, I really appreciate District 2 for being responsive, making sure nobody was hurt or injured, protecting the site, getting it ready, and then have Reeves Construction Company come in and make the repairs. A lot of planning, a lot of coordination, and again, when bad things happen, our folks show up, no matter what time of day or not, or day of the week for that matter. So glad to have that one open. And as you might recall, on March 19th, up in Cobb County, right next to Dobbins, State Route 280, South Cobb Drive, had a culvert failure. And again, as a outcome of a weather event and a lot of rain and a lot of flooding. And as you know, in this area, it is a very busy location. Again, right by Dobbins, so it's a major artery there. And so just under 8 weeks, this has been closed. And even despite the rain earlier this week, this 280 opened to traffic around 5 p.m. yesterday. And so we understand there was, inconvenience for citizens, and we appreciate everybody's patience as you deal with the unexpected. And if I remind you that this culvert, we couldn't even determine when it was built, but we knew it was somewhere in the early 1940s, if not earlier. So it had lived its service life, and glad to get State Route 280 back open. Again, I appreciate District 7 for their response, and appreciate C.W. Matthews and their subcontractors for doing the work to get traffic flowing again. It takes people to do all this work, and so this is one I'm really excited to talk to you about. This comes to you from Washington County High School Heavy Equipment Operations Program. Last week, there were 20 high school students enrolled in the Washington County High School Heavy Equipment Operation class that completed their end of the course final capstone project over at our GDOT District 2 office in Tennille. The capstone project was the students' first opportunity to operate actual excavators and operate bulldozers. Prior to this event, students underwent a whole year of training on a Caterpillar excavator simulator, which is obviously a safe, hands-on virtual experience that teaches heavy equipment operations using the same controls as the machines actually have. So simulator, real-world experience. The simulator provided the students an excellent opportunity to learn how to use the equipment, but of course, nothing beats the real-world experience. In addition to the excavator exercise, students participated in other skills on mini excavators. Each student was evaluated on their skills on the excavator by loading a tandem dump truck, and at the end of the day, there was a ceremony recognizing their achievements. The capstone project was in coordination with representatives from Washington County High School, Pittman Construction, E.R. Snell Contractors, and GDOT. The Georgia Highway Contractors Association also played a big role in planning the event, and the program was developed through the Georgia Highways Contractors Association and Caterpillar. And you might remember that the General Assembly funded these simulators in over a couple of budget years. So they're in high schools, and hopefully I'll have a more of an update for you later this year about this program. But this was the first year of the Heavy Equipment Operator Program, and our plan moving forward is to continue this partnership to host this event on an annual basis. The students of Washington High also created a video that they wanted to share with us, and so here it is.
The Washington County High School Heavy Equipment Operator class held the end of course final capstone project at GDOT in Tennille on Tuesday. Students were able to put their year-long Caterpillar excavator simulator training to the test and work with real equipment. All 20 students were able to successfully load dump trucks with excavators and operate bulldozers. This is the pilot year of the HEO program, and we would like to congratulate our students on a job well done. also like to extend our gratitude to our industry partners, GDOT, Pittman Construction, Howard Shepherd, and ER Snell Contractors for making the event a huge success. We could not have done it without them.
All righty, that is really awesome stuff. If you saw there in the video, you saw a couple of students holding a hat, said Pittman. I believe they had jobs, and we have two? One. All for two, and we've got one. So kids coming out of high school, ready to operate, and they immediately have jobs. So what a great opportunity that is. Yeah, so thank you. Again, a huge appreciation for Georgia Highway Contractors Association, for them working with the General Assembly to get these Caterpillar simulators in high schools throughout the state. Just continue to try to grow that. These are marketable skills, and look, it looks easy to operate those, but if you say, on a bulldozer, I can dig you a hole. I can't smooth it out, but I can dig a hole, and that's not what bulldozers are for. So it's a lot harder than it looks. So congratulations. Certainly appreciate Corbett Reynolds and the whole District 2 team for their work and building that relationship and partnership with Washington County High School as well. Lastly, I'll leave you that last week was State Employees Recognition Week, and really a great week. Our department joined with our fellow agencies across the state to celebrate the work of our dedicated public servants, which have been displayed today through our presentations this morning, through the highlights of my presentation today. And it's just really a great week, but every day is, in my opinion, Public Employee Recognition Week. The hard work of the men and women of GDOT just do amazing things, getting roads open when they're flood, and heroes and champs helping people each and every day. It just goes on and on. So just wanted to, again, call special attention to the great work of the men and women of GDOT and all state agencies last week. And Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report. I'll be glad to entertain any questions or comments.
Okay. Questions? Question for the commissioner.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
At the P3 meeting this morning, the P3 committee voted to recommend the following actions for full board approval. Use an alternative contracted method, ACM, to deliver I-285 East and I-285 West express lanes, and approval of the joint resolution with CERTA for the 285 express lanes project. With this, Mr. Chairman, I bring these actions to the full board for approval.
Okay.
Do I hear a motion?
Motion?
Okay.
Yeah, I can't get a second.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second in discussion. All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Thank you, Ms. Bowen. Okay. All right. I think that concludes the
That's it right here. That's it right here. That's what they gave us to, that's it.
Also, I need to mention to you all that starting next in June, we will have the committee meetings on Wednesday instead of Thursday. And so that'd be a change from what we knew last couple of meetings. We're gonna have The committee meetings will start on Wednesday, and you'll get a notice in the mail from Question on Time over that. And then we'll have a board meeting on Thursday.
Is that a permanent change?
Well, we do have an issue in June, because Wednesday will be Juneteenth, so this may need to get July.
So state holiday.
It's a state holiday.
Okay. Okay. We start in June, it starts in July. Okay.
I didn't hear all that.
Well, in July, it'll be back to Wednesday, committee day, Thursday.
Not in June.
On June 19th, that's Juneteenth, it's a state holiday, federal holiday.
So we'll do both on Thursday?
Yes.
Everybody clear on that thing?
I just didn't hear it.
Everybody clear?
June, we go back to two-day meeting, Tuesday?
No, July.
July.
June stays like it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. Because of a holiday.
okay. Any more business may be brought before the board? If not, meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it's been,
Huh?
I just thought about that.
Yeah, 'cause